Hi, everyone. This is the information webinar that's going to be speaking about the 2025 Request for Participation, which is all about partnership opportunities with the Learn and Work Ecosystem Library. So glad you could join us today. And this is going to be kind of informal, so I'm going to ask you to type in any questions you have in the chat, and I'll introduce you to our staff in just in a moment. And Lucia on our staff is going to can break in and share any questions that you have while we're proceeding. You could also later in the webinar raise your hand and we can unmute you when you're ready. Or if you have questions that come to you after the webinar, submit them via email or the contact form that we have at the library, and we can answer your questions through emails. So here's our library team. I'm Holly Zanville, founder and lead of the Learn and Work Ecosystem Library. I'm also a research professor at George Washington University. And Lucia Weathers handles a lot of our communications and fiscal operations. And she's behind the scenes today on the webinar, so you may hear her voice a little bit later. And Stephanie Bailey is our library content and engagement person. And in addition, we have our tech company that we work closely with that actually supports the library out of Richmond, Virginia, called Cure, C-U-R-E. So you may not see their names, but they're really, really important for us to have the library function. We also have a graduate student team that's working with us for this term. Virginia Beal from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Johanna Pacheco from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Abigail Smith from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and Nana York from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And our graduate students are all in Masters of Science in Library programs. The names are a little different for the universities, and they're helping us to keep our content updated. And if you go to our website, you'll see bios of all the folks that I've mentioned, so feel free to go and check up on all of us. So we're happy to share with you a little background about the library. This is the screenshot if you go to our library main page right now, and you'll see that there are lots of ways to search. There's a search bar, which is a keyword. And if you have a query and want to put it to our AI bot, that orange box is where you can do that. And there are also some more advanced ways to search at the library, which include searching by stakeholders. So I hope you've had a chance to check around a little bit. And to the right, you'll see our scrolling special reports or information that we are trying to make very present. So feel free to take a look at that. When you scroll through the library, you're going to see information about this, because this is basically the contents of the library. We have an index that lists all of the contents. We have a growing glossary of terms that are relevant to the Learn and Work ecosystem. We have a number of key components, and I'll talk about that in a moment, that really are building blocks of the Learn and Work ecosystem. There are topic reports, which are kind of like short reports just to bring people up to speed on topics that they may not know very much about, really only 1 to 2 pages with the references attached. There are initiatives, which are special projects, which are underway in the ecosystem. So folks who visit the library can learn about who's really doing what in the ecosystem, particularly in the innovation space. There are the organizations also, like who is actually doing the work behind the scenes, a number of different types of organizations. And we have an archive. It's still growing. We are capturing either websites that are no longer available, or that they think will be not available soon, or key documents. And so that is a growing area. And I will just point to the index, because we have 1,443 at the time that I put this in. But if you go to the library today, you're going to see that it says 1451. And that's just to make the point that we're continually updating the contents of the library in order to continue to be relevant to what really is going on in the ecosystem. This is the 12 component piece that I just mentioned. And at the library, you'll see this graphic, which indicates the 12 areas of the components. And for folks that really want to search by component, for example, if they're just interested in career navigation, they can type in career navigation, and up will come a lot of the content that relates to career navigation. At the library, you're also going to see through one of the drop downs that we have an outreach and engagement center, and we're still building portions of it, but it contains a section called Library Lens, which is where you'll find special reports, special briefing type efforts, and some analysis of the content, which we're able to look at more and more as the content develops. We're going to be developing a webinar series, a menu of webinars, and some of you may be interested in webinars because that's one of the opportunities to partner with us. We also have a newsletter. I'll talk about that at the end, our e-news. We have consultation with us if folks are finding it difficult to do search, so they can be in touch with us and we'll help with searches. We have an online newspaper partnership with Evolution. You may know that Evolution is a fairly large online library. It's actually based in Toronto, and it has relevant articles that are written by people who are actually working in the field, which is what makes it very unique. So the content comes from college deans, from industry leaders, from government officials, researchers, etc. We also have the special projects page, and that's the one that's going to be of most interest to, I think, this group, because that's what we're seeking through our RFP, and I'll talk about the specifics of that in a moment. And we have a researcher showcase that we're in the process of developing. So when you go there, you won't see anything quite yet. So here's that special projects page. If you go to our library, you're going to see a special page that is devoted to special projects and partnerships. And one of the types of partnerships is the RFP that we've just issued. We issued one in 2024. And as you know, we've just issued the 2025 RFP. And we're really seeking partners to explore the library as a potentially useful resource to your work during 2025. And last year, we focused primarily on universities and universities testing the use of the library as an instructional tool. And we got feedback from folks that said you really should offer opportunities well beyond universities using it as an instructional tool. So now we're searching more broadly and want to continue to consider colleges, universities, and high schools that might be able to use the library as an instructional tool, but also industry associations, policy and research think tanks, because we think that many of the staffers at think tanks need professional development, and the library could be potentially useful to them. Innovation projects and alliances that want to partner, and I'll explain that a little more, and any other. So you'll see at that site at our library that we've listed the RFP, the application, the e-application, information, of course, about our webinar today, and this will be available after the webinar in a recording, and you'll be able to see the slides. And then an invite letter that we've sent out to folks to let them know about it. So I want to go over again the 8 types of opportunities that we've identified in the RFP. I'm going to go kind of quickly, and if you have questions, feel free to ask any questions and stop me if that's helpful to you. So the first type of opportunity we think is folks that might want to be locating key resources at the library archive. As I mentioned, there may be actual websites or important documents that you wish to see made available that may not be available now or in the future. And that could be a partnership where we can help you to put information at our archive. We can engage in either co-hosting webinars with you, or you could consider hosting webinars on your own in partnership with the library, in which you might deliver topics that are specific to topics of interest to the audience you have in mind, but testing whether or not you can pull information from the library, because we would like to test whether or not the library has content that would be useful in some sort of a webinar. So that's a second opportunity for those of you that might be interested in webinars. The third opportunity is really a reference tool, and we're thinking of that aimed at staff professionals who could test the usefulness of the library using our keyword search or queries to our bot to help them if they're developing a report, if they're developing a webinar or a conference presentation, maybe even advise through some information, strategic plans that some of you might be involved in. And we're thinking that The searches could identify examples of work that might be cited in the work that you're working on in areas of interest. You might be interested in identifying related vocabulary terms out of our glossary, and you might be interested in identifying specific organizations that are working in those areas. We think that you can get that at the library, but we'd like to have you all test that and see whether or not this can be helpful to you. The fourth one is what we really focused on last year, which was the use of the library potentially as an instructional tool. And we hope that faculty and students at high schools, colleges, and universities could consider using the library as an instructional tool to learn information about topics of interest around vocabulary terms and the organizations who are working to improve the learner work ecosystem. We think that in addition to the educational side of the shop, there may be trainers, educational trainers at companies, at industry associations, and third-party organizations who also could use the library to inform their training plans. So those are the things we think fall into the opportunity related to instructional tool. The fourth is publication opportunities. Some of you could be faculty, students, employee trainers, researchers, professional staff, and others might want to write a topic or a research brief, a blog, or a report on areas of the Learn Week ecosystem for potential publication at our library. We can put them in a couple different locations at our library, and you could test the use of the content that we have available along with other content, and we could offer you an opportunity to publish that. Internships is a sixth opportunity. So if students want to design an internship around a special project, we're open to that. If there's the option of academic credit, if your institution would support that. Because of my status as a research professor at George Washington University, I'm eligible to serve as a mentor or to sign documents for your institution because most institutions would need that. So just wanted you to know, for any students or faculty who might be interested in having internship opportunities available, that that's an option for students as well. And then our seventh opportunity is very unique, but since we've learned from our 4 graduate students who are all involved in library science schools at their universities, there may be an opportunity if any university schools would like to establish kind of a living lab that would enable faculty, students, and staff to develop class assignments that are focused on various aspects of the library. And they could also learn more about the back end, the technical side of our library, and we could engage them with our tech team as well. So that won't be of interest to a lot of folks, but we're hoping there may be a school or so that would want to test that out so we could see if that's really an option. And the 8th one is just very broad. If we haven't thought of something that you have in mind, we're offering this 8th area, which allows other opportunities. So we heard from a few folks that could not attend today's session who raised some questions with us. So I thought I'd go through those questions, thinking that some of you may also have the same question. So if I try to use this opportunity as an internship at my institution, can you certify to my college that I'm part of an internship? And can you fill in the paperwork that I would need with my advisor? And if I do an internship, could you submit information to my advisor about what I did? So the answer is yes, because that's because of my role at George Washington University. So as long as your institution will allow you to do an internship, whether it's for credit or really for experience, we can help you in whatever way to fill in the paperwork you need. If you are selected to participate in this opportunity, is my name, or we could add it, or organization, going to be listed at the library as participating in a partnership? Will you ask my permission, or is it implied if I complete the application? And yes, we're going to ask you. We wouldn't put anybody's name up. We hope that you would agree to do that, but we know not everybody wants to be listed, et cetera. So we would have ways to provide general information without the specifics, but just because you apply does not mean we're going to put your name up on our website. So a third question we received is, I might want to apply, but I don't know what I would want to do. So what type of assignments are you going to suggest for people like me? So I won't go into detail here, but if you really want to play a role, but you really are not sure where you fit and you want suggestions, we do have a number of ideas for what other types of assignments we could give you. So just know that that's something you could just ask and that we would be following up one-to-one with you. Is there a certain time commitment that you're expecting for people or organizations who join this project? No, there really isn't. We're anticipating that most of that would occur in 2025. If you're a student and looking for an internship, it might be for an academic term or half of an academic term. It might be for the summer or a fall term. For some of you who are thinking about something a little more elaborate, whenever you start, we could go through December or even into 2026. So we're pretty flexible about the timeline. So um, there's not a same timeline for everybody. Would I have to attend the webinars the RFP is speaking about? No, you wouldn't. That's just an option. We would want to put you on an invitation list. And if you wanted to attend, you could. And for those webinars, we would have recordings and let you know about that. So those are really an opportunity for you to network if that's something you want to do, or to learn about some specific topics that might come up. If I start with the project, but I can't complete it, what happens? Nothing happens. You're not going to be, if you're a student, nothing's, you're not going to be in trouble with us. We understand life happens and some projects may not pan out. We would just ask if you have an approved project with us, that if something's coming up, just let us know so that we know, and we would certainly want to change that, particularly in our social media about efforts. Do I need a certain level of technical expertise to be selected to participate? No, not really. A lot of us are not that tech savvy. That's why we have a tech group that helps us and helps us to train. So it depends on the assignment, but we feel like if you can use a library and you can search, you have all the skills that you need to do this type of work. Is there going to be an opportunity to submit an application later in the year, and will you offer opportunities in 2026? We can handle opportunities if people want to submit an application later. There's lots of reasons why you can't submit it now. Some of you, we know, might have to have approval from others at your organization, for example. So if you elected to submit it later, that's fine. You might want to let us know that you're planning an application, but you might not be able to submit it until June or so. So that would be nice to know. We think we'll offer opportunities in 2026. They might be a little different based on what we learned from this year's opportunities, but we're hopeful we can continue to partner with groups at the library. And could I say more about the opportunity to potentially publish some things that I might write at the library? I think I already covered that in my remarks just a little bit earlier. We have the Library Lens site. We also have a newsroom site. And so we would expect, and we could put you in touch with our colleagues at Evolution, because some of what you might write might lend itself to being published in Evolution as one of their articles or blogs. So we have a few opportunities, and we hope that some of you would consider that, because I think it's really great to get information that we all have to share out to our colleagues. So I'm not going to go over this slide. This will be in the slide deck that will be available at the website. But this really answers the question about what ideas for assignments do you have? So just know that it's going to be there. If you really are one of those folks that wants to read through this, know that there's going to be some information in the slide deck. So if you want to reach us, we have an email. We're also at LinkedIn, and here's our LinkedIn address. And we hope that you'll consider subscribing to our e-news, which is our newsletter. It comes out quarterly. We just started it. Our first one was launched in January, February, and our next one will be out later in April. So we'll have lots of new news to report since the first one that came out. So we hope that you'll join our newsletter. So I'm going to stop here and see if we have any questions from the group. Lucia, are you seeing any questions?
Not yet.
Well, then I'm going to give you an opportunity if you want to type something in. And if we don't see questions, we're going to give you some time back to your day, and you'll know that the recording and the slides will be available at our website. It'll probably take us I'll give us say 2 days to get that information up there. So know that it'll be up there relatively quickly. You can email us with any additional questions.
Oh, Holly, we've got one question. Daniel, I'm going to give you permission to speak.
Hi, it looks like chat's been disabled, at least from my view.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Are you able to use the Q&A?
Haven't tried, but I
Okay.
will.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, hi, Dan. Are you just letting us know, or are you wanting to raise a question? Can Dan, is
I
Lucius
think
Dan able
I think
to
he was
speak?
I think he was just letting us know about the
Oh,
chat.
okay. All
So we'll
right.
have
That
to
sounds
see.
good.
Yep. So thank you
Okay.
for that.
So some of you may, if that doesn't come back to chat, then no, you can send an email to us and then we'll get back to you. That'll be one-to-one. Obviously, we won't send it to everybody. Well, if there are no more questions, then what we're going to do is sign off and give you time back in your day. And thank you so much for attending and learning and about the partnership opportunities. And we hope we see applications from you because we're very interested in partnering in various ways with you all.
Oh, Holly, Dan was able to put in a note that just said, "Thanks, Holly." He does have a couple of questions, but he can hold for a one-on-one if you'd like.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. But Dan, if you want to raise it, we have some time. I'm not sure if the audio is available.
He does have, he just put in, what are your overall interests market-wise for doing this? Key outcomes.
Well, we have multiple outcomes. One outcome is really a self-serving one, is that we want to learn uh, how we can improve the library. And we think that means improving the library by working with a number of different type of stakeholders. And for those of you that have had a chance to review the library, you'll see that so far we've identified 26 different stakeholder groups. And that tells us that different stakeholders need access to different types of information. And so what we'd like to do is have more partnerships where we understand whether or not the library is useful and in what ways could it be improved, uh, in what ways can it be helpful. So one of the outcomes is really to improve the library. A second outcome is really to help you all in the work that you're doing because we think we have resources that might be useful. And so we're increasingly using the term to describe ourselves as an information aggregator database. And we don't think there are that many of them out there. There are platforms, but a lot of the platforms are not information oriented and they're more job matching type platforms or data on internships. It's things like that. And we're interested in in serving as a place that pulls in information that can be curated that speaks to the broad learn and work ecosystem. And it's not a chat bot. And we think that the bots, we don't know what it'll be like down the road, but the bots right now are visiting websites. Websites are siloed mostly, and it's difficult for the bots to put together uh, for example, a library, and even if you do Google searches, we don't think you fully get the kind of curated information coded in ways that might be helpful depending on the type of stakeholder you are. It's kind of a long answer, but we think that that's another outcome is to try to literally to try to help the field, particularly at a time when websites are going down, um, uh, documents are being lost, and we're not sure where they're going to go. They may go to some kind of a Wayback Machines or archives, and we're worried that things will be lost or siloed. So we think we have a role to play, and that's another outcome is can we play a role in the current challenging information context we're in to help folks that might be looking to preserve important documents or even entire websites. So I'm going to stop there, Dan, because that may be more information than you wanted.
That was great. He wrote, "Love it, always clear, Holly. Thank you for your outline that you provided."
Great. Any others from folks on the line still? Well, if not, then we really will sign off. Thank you so much. We look forward to your applications and talking further with all of you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much for joining us.